Hi, I'm Jelena. You probably know me as a Latvian girl, a single mom living in the Philippines with my 2 children. But maybe you still don't know the story of how I came to the Philippines. Yeah, my story is probably one of the craziest things that can happen to anyone. Because I came to the Philippines because of karaoke. Yes, not because of the beaches, waterfalls, or any of the usual things that attract tourists here, but because of singing. I had never been to any other Asian country before, never traveled outside Europe, especially with children. And of course, I had a lot of fears about coming alone with my 2 kids. Especially because there wasn't a single person who didn't tell me I was crazy and that I shouldn't do it because it was too dangerous, too far, and I couldn't risk our lives like that, especially with my kids being only 6 and 8 at the time. Somehow people overseas don't know much about the Philippines. All they know is that it's dangerous. Now I try to use social media to show the world the true colors of the Philippines and Filipinos. But back then, even my sister thought that Philippines was all jungle, snakes, earthquakes, heat and war. People in Germany told me we'd be kidnapped and sold as soon as we stepped on Filipino soil. They said there was no way we'd return to Europe alive if I left alone with 2 kids. I listened to these stories and yes, I was really scared. But my desire and determination to come to the Philippines were so strong that I knew I had to come. Let me start from the beginning, explaining how it all started and why karaoke was involved. 7 years ago, I was a 24 years old young married woman with 2 kids, living far from my family and friends in Latvia, stuck in Germany, feeling unhappy, lonely and depressed. One day, I stumbled upon a karaoke app where you could sing with people from all over the world. I've loved singing since I was born. Whether I'm at home, at work, or anywhere else, I'm always singing, which annoys people around me sometimes. And guess what? On that karaoke app, I met thousands of Filipinos. La, 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 la.
When you're not there, and greatly to be praised.
It seemed like 80% of the app's users were from the Philippines. At that time, I didn't even know where the Philippines was. Just like many people don't know exactly where Latvia is. I started singing in the app and made many amazing Filipino friends. We connected on Facebook and I started observing how they lived simply but happily. Many Filipinos love to show their daily lives on social media. I saw live streams of them cooking, eating together, singing karaoke, sharing everyday moments, even from funerals. I realized that their way of life was completely different. When I realized that the Philippines was the place where I wanted to live, it seemed impossible for me to go there. We lived paycheck to paycheck and I wasn't able to save even $100 a month. None of my Filipino friends believed me when I said I couldn't visit because of money. They kept saying, just come for a vacation, there are plenty of foreigners here on vacation. But for me it was an unrealistic dream that time. You know, I even participated in a radio game in Germany where you had to write down your wish and for a month you had to listen to the radio 3 times a day to see if they would randomly choose you and make your dream come true. I really believed I would win because that was my only hope of getting tickets to the Philippines. First, I sang English songs with my Filipino friends, then I started listening to the songs they were singing. I found them unrealistically beautiful and I wanted to join in, but it was too hard to pronounce the words. And I told myself, okay, I will just listen, I will never able to sing that. But then I heard one song that blew me away. I decided that no matter what, I would learn it. I practiced every day, many times a day, and after 7 days I was able to sing that song. It was Kung Sakali by Michael Panginilan.
Maunawaan, pag-ibig na inalay ko sa'yo'y tapat.
The first Filipino song I memorized. I still know it to this day. I guess even if you woke me up in the middle of the night and asked me to sing it, I would still remember the lyrics.
Michael Pangilianan.
That was the moment my journey into Filipino music and culture truly began. Through these songs, I felt the deep love Filipinos have for their country and the deep pain of overseas Filipino workers who long to come home to their families. This was how I fell in love with Filipino culture and its people, full of care, sacrifice, love, kindness, and patriotism. I fell in love with the Philippines more and more each day, even without even ever being there. After a year, I knew for sure that this was where I wanted to be, and Filipinos were the people I wanted around me. I knew it wouldn't be easy, but I was determined to move mountains to get to Philippines with my children. When I made the decision, my son was only 2 years old. When we finally made it, he was 6. I wasn't a vlogger then, and I didn't have much money. I came with all my savings, which was just $1,000, my bags, my kids, and my huge love to the Philippines and its people. My ex told me back then, don't even think that people will love you just because you're white, because you sing their songs, and because you love them. And I said, I don't care. Even if no one loves me there, I already love them and I want to live there. When I stepped in the Philippines, I knew immediately, yes, this is my place. This is exactly where I want to be. I honestly couldn't believe we had made it. But maybe that's why my first days were hard. I felt sick, needed to go to the hospital, and needed medical help. But that's the journey that eventually led me to Samal Island, which became my home. I just felt like God was holding my hand, guiding me and introducing me to all the people I was meant to meet. That was a road filled with God's guidance and protection, but that's another story I'll tell you one day. Thank you so much for watching this video until the end, and thank you for sharing my story. Bye bye.